There is a sound the deep ocean makes, a low and constant hum of pressure and time. In that sound, some hear the whisper of a world that is no longer there. It is a story that begins not with a shout, but with a quiet, unsettling clue. A single stone tablet, discovered long ago, was said to bear inscriptions unlike any known language. The symbols spoke of a vast motherland, a place of immense cities and enlightened people which vanished beneath the waves in a single, catastrophic night. This tablet, whether real or imagined, is where the story of Mu often begins. A single note of mystery played in the immense silence of the Pacific. This tale is not loud. It does not clamor for attention like other legends. Instead, it pulls at the quiet corners of our curiosity. It asks us to look at the vast, blue expanse of the world's largest ocean and wonder what secrets it truly holds. The name itself, Mu, is soft. The story persists, passed down through texts and whispers, because it speaks to a fundamental human fear and fascination. The idea that a great civilization, a cradle of humanity, could be utterly erased by the power of the natural world, leaving behind almost nothing but a name and a lingering sense of loss. The legend, as we know it today, gained its voice in the 19th century through the writings of a few who claimed to have translated ancient texts. They painted a vivid picture of a continent teeming with life, a paradise of gentle people who lived in harmony with nature. According to these accounts, Mu was a sprawling landmass, larger than continents we know, home to 64 million souls. Its cities were built of gleaming white stone, and its people were masters of science and spirit. Then, in a moment of geological fury, the earth buckled and the ocean rose to claim it all, a cautionary tale of impermanence on a planetary scale. That is the heart of the enigma. The Pacific Ocean is a realm of immense geological activity, a place of rising mountains and sinking seabeds. It is also home to countless islands, each with its own unique history and culture, separated by impossible distances. The question of Mu invites us to look at these scattered islands not as isolated points of land, but as possible mountain peaks of a continent now lost to the depths. It is a journey that requires us to navigate the thin, blurry line that separates myth from the tantalizing possibility of a forgotten history. Leaving the library and setting foot on the islands of the Pacific, the mystery deepens. Across this immense ocean, Easter Island, Hawaii, Tonga, the Marianas, we find remarkable stone structures. Consider the megalithic ruins of Nan Madol on the island of Pohnpei. It is a city built of massive basalt logs, constructed on a series of artificial islets in a shallow lagoon. Local legend says the stones were flown to the site by magic. How could a small island population, without wheels or metal tools, have built such a monumental city? The question hangs in the humid air. The statues of Easter Island, the famous Moai, present a similar puzzle. These giant stone figures, carved from volcanic tuff, stare inland from platforms along the coast. They are a testament to an incredible feat of engineering and social organization by a society that ultimately collapsed. Oral traditions on the island speak of a homeland called Hiva, which was sunk by waves, forcing their ancestors to flee to this remote island. While geologists see no evidence of a sunken continent nearby, the story itself is a powerful echo, a cultural memory of displacement by the sea that resonates with the broader legend of Mu. Then there are the shared myths and cultural threads that seem to connect these disparate islands. Folk tales from all corners of the Pacific tell of a great flood, of ancestor gods who arrived from a land now lost beneath the waves, bringing with them the gifts of civilization, agriculture, writing, and astronomy. Symbols such as the spiral and the frigate bird. Linguists have traced the Austronesian language family, connecting peoples from Madagascar to Easter Island. Could these threads be the last remnants of a once unified culture, a motherland whose heartland now lies in darkness? This evidence is not proof, The similarities in art and myth could be the result of human migration over many millennia, with ideas passed from island to island like seeds on the current. The engineering feats, while astounding, may be explained by generations of ingenuity and immense human labor, rather than lost technology. Yet the sheer number of these coincidences is compelling. It feels as though the islands themselves are speaking, telling a fragmented story. Each ruin, each shared word, each common myth is like a single potsherd from a vessel we cannot yet reconstruct, hinting at a whole that is greater and older than we imagine. As we attempt to make sense of these clues, we find ourselves at a crossroads, each offering a different explanation for the enduring mystery of Mu. Each path attempts to lead us out of the fog of legend and into the clearer light of understanding, but none is without its own shadows and uncertainties. They represent the different ways we try to reconcile the story of Mu with the world as we know it, blending scientific reason with the pull of a great romantic narrative. The first and most direct theory is that Mu was a literal continent, a physical landmass that once existed in the Pacific and sank. Proponents of this idea, following Churchward, believe that geological cataclysms, such as pole shifts or the collapse of vast gas chambers beneath the Earth's crust, caused the continent to founder. They point to the vast, flat-topped seamounts, or guyots, that dot the Pacific floor as possible remnants of this drowned world. However, modern geology, with its understanding of plate tectonics, finds no evidence for a continent-sized piece of granitic crust in the Pacific Basin. The ocean floor is made of denser basaltic rock, and the idea of a continent vanishing without a trace contradicts everything we know about how our planet works. A second theory offers a more measured geological explanation. It proposes that Mu was not a continent, but a collection of large islands or a peninsula connected to Asia, now submerged due to rising sea levels. We know for a fact that at the end of the last ice age, around 12,000 years ago, sea levels were as much as 120 meters lower than they are today. Vast areas of what is now shallow sea, like the Sunda Shelf in Southeast Asia, were dry land. The flooding of these coastal plains as the ice melted would have been a dramatic, world-altering event, one that could certainly have given rise to legends of a great flood and a lost homeland for the peoples who were displaced. The third theory posits that Mu is not a place, but a culture complex. This idea suggests that there was no single landmass, but rather a vast, interconnected network of seafaring cultures that shared traditions, trade, and technology across the Pacific. The motherland of Mu, in this view, was a conceptual one, a shared heritage that spread with the Great Polynesian Migration. The similarities in stonework language and myth are not evidence of a single sunken source, but of the remarkable achievements of these ancient navigators in creating a unified cultural sphere across 1/3 of the planet's surface. Mu, then, is a memory of this great age of exploration and connection. Finally, the fourth path suggests that Mu is purely a creation of the modern mind, a myth born in the 19th century. This theory sees the story as a product of its time, blending the romanticism of lost worlds, a fascination with the mysterious East, and a desire to find a single unifying origin for all human civilization. Le Plongeon and Churchward, from this perspective, were not translators of ancient truths, but weavers of a compelling fiction, projecting their own ideas onto ambiguous artifacts and texts. In this view, Mu is a powerful story, but it tells us more about our own longing for lost wisdom and vanished Edens than it does about any actual place. The quest for Mu has not been abandoned to old books and speculation. Today, the search continues, armed with the tools of modern science. Deploy sophisticated technologies to map the ocean floor with precision. High-resolution sonar can reveal the subtle contours of the seabed, identifying unusual formations that might warrant a closer look. Submersibles and remotely operated vehicles, ROVs can descend into the crushing darkness of the abyss, sending back images of a world no human has ever seen directly. The search has moved from the library to the laboratory and out into the deep itself. One of the most intriguing areas of research is the study of underwater structures. Off the coast of Yonaguni-jima, Japan lies a massive terraced rock formation. Some believe it is a man-made monument, a potential remnant of a lost civilization. It features what appear to be steps, walls, and a large flat platform. Many geologists argue the structure is entirely natural, a product of erosion and seismic activity. Others insist its sharp angles and organized appearance point to artificial origins. The Yonaguni Monument, as it is known, remains a focal point of debate, a Rorschach test in stone that continues to fuel the search for Pacific ruins. Geneticists are also adding their voices to the chorus. By tracing DNA markers in modern populations, they can reconstruct ancient migration routes with astonishing accuracy. This research has largely confirmed the out-of-Taiwan model for the Austronesian expansion, a step-by-step colonization of the Pacific Islands over thousands of years. This scientific narrative of migration seems to argue against the idea of a single, collapsed motherland. Yet it highlights the incredible interconnectedness of the Pacific peoples, reinforcing the idea of a shared heritage, if not a shared landmass, and leaving the door open for older, undiscovered patterns of settlement. Ultimately, the modern search for Mu is a multidisciplinary effort, a slow and painstaking process of gathering data. Geologists studying sea level change, archaeologists comparing pottery styles, linguists reconstructing ancient words, folklorists analyzing the deep structure of myths. Each new discovery, a submerged coastline, an anomalously old artifact, a new genetic link adds another small piece to an enormous puzzle. The work is quiet, methodical, far from the dramatic revelations of 19th century adventurers. It is a search defined not by sudden discovery, but by the gradual accumulation of knowledge. So we are left here on the shore of this great mystery, the tide of evidence washing in and out. The story of Mu persists a ghost that haunts the edges of our maps and the depths of our oceans. It is a narrative woven from many threads, a fragment of a supposed tablet, a line on a faded chart, a colossal stone head staring at the sky, and an enduring human need to believe in a grand, lost beginning. The fog of time is thick, and the sheer scale of the Pacific Ocean makes the search for definitive proof a monumental task. The silence of the deep is profound. It has had millennia to cover its tracks, to grind stone to sand, to dissolve memory into myth. The sea is the ultimate keeper of secrets. It is entirely possible that beneath its waves lies a truth more fantastic than any story we have told. Perhaps a chain of islands, a small continent, or a coastal civilization was indeed lost to a great cataclysm. The ocean does not offer up its dead easily, and its floor may well hold the quiet ruins of a world we have forgotten. Or perhaps the truth is just as wondrous, but different. Perhaps the story of Mu is not about a lost land, but about the extraordinary resilience and ingenuity of the human spirit. It may be the story of our ancestors, the navigators who conquered the greatest ocean on Earth in open canoes, guided by the stars, guided by the swell of the waves. They built a civilization not on a single continent, but on the water itself, creating a web of culture that spanned the globe. In this telling, Mu was never lost. It lives on in the language, the art, and the very DNA of tens of millions of people today. We stand and look out at the horizon, where the blue of the water meets the blue of the sky. The question of Mu does not demand a final answer. Its power lies in its persistence, in its ability to make us wonder. It reminds us that our history may be deeper and more complex than we know, and that the world still holds profound mysteries. Did we miss Mu? Or is the search for it a way of finding a different part of ourselves, a part that dreams of a world that was, or one that could have been? The waves continue to break upon the shore, and they do not say,